Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of me fumbling about not knowing where my weapon is or my badge. Last episode we found a bookstore and I didn't look at the books outside. Let's look at the books inside and see what we have over here. Gift books and molten candy. I assume that's molten by the sun, even though it is winter, isn't it? Old sports magazines tucked away in a dark corner. They are, but I have a flashlight. I will see all the dark corners of the earth. The book collects the national recipes of Arda. They are all about lake trout. Well, that seems fairly reasonable, I suppose. It's like Portuguese recipes. They're all about cod, basically. And none of it is fresh cod.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance.
I thought I mispronounced your name, Plaisance. I am sorry. Also, it's interesting that it's Plaisance instead of Plaisance, but because it's not Plaisance, because that would be how the French says it. The clerk extends a greeting.
Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
I can only take responsibility. What does it mean to take responsibility? A golden pendant hangs around the woman's neck in the shape of what looks like a tiny fish head trapped in amber. That's a challenging check over there. A curious pendant you're wearing. I'm gonna narrow my eyes. Mysteriously. No, I'm gonna do it on purpose.
Oh yes, helps to have an anchor in these times.
She clutches the pendant and narrows her eyes as well. She's also not using the... We have a machine printing things. She's not using the term font, I believe is what it's called among seances. I'm not really sure. I guess it depends, maybe. I don't know. So she may not be... because when she talked about the energy, she may not be talking about any specific type of energy and more sort of a... Anyway, before we go on, we are just starting, but... You seem to be... No, that's not well off enough. Can you give me some money? Yes, that would be a good... maybe... I don't know. I kind of want to ask for money for sure, because I'm shameless, but not at the beginning. So, are you the owner of this store?
I am. The proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Her voice is high-pitched, as if to give it more penetration. Which is I assume she didn't modulate her voice. Is that what I'm supposed to take out of that? Is that she modulates her voice to be high pitched so that it penetrates more? Because low pitched voices penetrate more. That's basic facts of science. That's how it works. And that's why you need to talk like this instead of talking like this when you're trying to not wake somebody up. Well, it's not the reason. There's also an evolutionary reason. We tend to wake up better with low growls than we do with with sort of high sounds like this. And stuff, sort of, yeah. She has fine-tuned... She has indeed. My suggestion is right. Fine-tuned her voice to find the most welcoming approach for attracting new customers. Also to penetrate them, apparently. It doesn't work. The penetration, at least. I don't have money, so I definitely am not a new customer. What if I want to buy a book? Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? She fiddles with her pendant, then waves her bony fingers directly at you. See those shelves there? Go, be drawn. So what types of books do you have? Everything is on the shelves. Take a look at yourself. She nudges her glasses. The shelves compel you, don't they? She's attempting to verbally as well, direct you towards the shelves. Also verbally. She's doing that verbally a lot. Volition, you're terrible. She only wants you to buy the goods. She doesn't care about the books. Oh, she doesn't care, no, she does care about the books insofar as she wants me to buy them. She doesn't care about books in general, so that's what my volition detected there. Do you even know what books you have for sale? She scoffs. Truth be told, not really. My sister brings in most of the goods. I'm sure it's all very literary stuff with well-written prose, she says. I assume doing air quotes. Also, it's interesting that she uses the same term, goods, as the narrator does. But you don't learn about the important things in life from fabricated stories. Oh, do tell me about the important things. Where do you learn about them? The truth is available if you just know where to look. If you have to open and if you have unopen and free if you have to open and free your mind to understand, and you have, right? And she nods at you cryptically because I didn't understand. All right, I'll take a look then. She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved. So your daughter is the one standing outside the store, right? Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl? Yeah, of course. Wonderful. Did you talk to her? Yes. Great! On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her? Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store, says our empathy. Yes, I figure that. I'm gonna say the first one, but I kind of wanted to say the 5, but yeah, 10. She's certainly very polite and helpful. My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart and money to my purse. The narrator says, she's immensely satisfied with the answer. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette. Yes, 10 out of 10. Would buy again. Wait, would be talked to again, I suppose. The way you're handling her strikes me as wrong. Yeah, on more than one account now that we have talked to her. Let's see. I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor. Annette is quite the trooper. She's a great value add. Okay, let's go with the first one here. The way you're handling her strikes me as wrong. Mind your own business, sir. Her posture becomes very rigid. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of your or anyone's business. I assume it's not. So I'm here to abolish the free market. All power to the workers. Let's do this. She rolls her eyes. You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening. The child labor. She's referring to the child labor. Well, it depends. How much do you pay the kid? Ooh, this is a tricky question. This is a smart question as well. Because, of course, any answer that is not flat out, she's not working for me, will result in her admitting that she's working for her. It doesn't matter if you pay the kid or not. It's still child labor. Well, I guess it would. Well, it's kind of complicated. It depends on. From a legal standpoint, it's still child labor. But of course, if she says that it's nobody's business, then from a legal standpoint, if she's right about the laws, of course, from a legal standpoint, it's not child labor because it's nobody's business. So I don't know. Let's see what she says. Good sir, what does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there. Slap the cuffs on her, says our authority. I am not going to be able to do that. Apparently, maybe it's my physical instrument that's not good enough. I formally reprimand you for your corrupt activities, I'm going to say. And she raises an eyebrow. Oh, of course, officer. Good work. Are we done with the jokes now? Kim says, yes, we have had quite enough fun here, right? And he taps his foot. Okay, let's change the subject. I'm not sure we did. We did get enough, but I guess we don't. We're crime and we're murder. What's the type of? It's like vice is a type of police work for gambling and drugs and whatnot. And there's murder. What's murder? Is it because we're murder? We're not. Whatever this would be, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's outside of our jurisdiction. Let's pretend. The girl outside mentioned who's your daughter, by the way. Mentioned that this place is cursed. Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy, good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir. It doesn't feel like it's thriving. It feels ghostly, says our empathy. Okay, well, we do have something going on. Hey, tsk, that's our rhetoric. Tsk, hey, you. Who, me? Yeah, you. Word on the street is you are ready to start building communism again. I don't even know what again means. I don't know anything about the history of this place. Oh, by the way, since, well, actually a couple of episodes back, I've read an interview. Was it an interview or was it a... No, it was an interview. About with the developer of the game, the main developer. It's very interesting. It was on Gamasutra, I want to say. Very interesting stuff. But apparently, this game is set on a world that already exists. There is, I believe, a tabletop game that is set on this, and the developers always wanted to make a setting first, or rather, they did indeed make a setting first. The setting has been made for I think 10 years or something. But I guess for somebody who is acquainted with the setting, this game has a very different feel, which makes me very hopeful for a second playthrough for me. Because RPGs on a second playthrough are always different, but some games are a lot harder to scrutinize and a lot harder to pierce through. And this one is certainly like that. We are just sort of dumped. So I think it works really nicely for the amnesiac sort of character that we're playing. So from a game design standpoint, it's fantastic that the game just dumps you. I'm gonna ask again, yeah. But yeah, there's definitely a way for you as a player, or me as a Let's Player, I suppose, to actually know what the heck any of this means and all the history behind and all that sort of stuff. I didn't play the tabletop or read the novel. I think there's a novel. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I'm gonna ask again. Yeah, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They have built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet, but neither has love. Should we just stop building love too? Well, actually, it's kind of complicated, isn't it? Yeah, we should stop building love. Let's say that. This conversation isn't really about love, says Rhetoric. Try to keep up, okay? This is about the communism you've promised to build. Word on the street is it's going to be 10,000 times larger than any communism previously attempted. Is that true? I'm a police officer. What kind of communism is this? Especially from an historical perspective. Because really, communism is just it's kind of complicated. You can have many types, I suppose. And a police reinforced communism is what historically would be called an authoritarian communism. Is it an authoritarian communism? How does that work? I'm not really sure if it has a specific name. It would be still authoritarian anyway. Although maybe not necessarily. I don't know. I'm not very good at political theory, really, but in general. But the police and policing is a very specific type of exertion of power. So for power to be truly of the workers themselves would have to be responsible for the policing. But how does that work? And the game kind of touches that again touches on that a little bit before, just very passingly, and you can spot it if you know what the paradigms are and what the discussions are in verbiage and whatnot. So it was alluded very briefly when we had that conversation with that guy that was just standing in front of those guys that were in front of the scabs. So if you have an authoritarian regime that stands for the workers instead of giving power to the workers, then in the name of the workers, I say for the workers, but I mean in the name of the workers, then the police can definitely work for that regime and still be, at least, I guess, historically called communism, because it would be the authoritarian version of it. So I don't know how that would work, but I think this is coming from a much deeper, a much more historically rich perspective rather than necessarily a philosophical standpoint. I'm sure the choice that I just made was responsible for this trigger. But let's see. How come there's word on the street, I'm gonna ask? You keep saying things like down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pockets. And reals. Please pluralize that. Literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff. That escalated quickly. I haven't said anything like that. I have not said anything like that. Huh. Okay, not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mask of social democracy and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that will devour the mass and masticate mankind. So I think this is indeed referencing an authoritarian style of communism. Because social democracy. So let's see. I'm trying because it's easy to confuse democratic socialism with social democracy. Social democracy is inherently centrist because it's kind of complicated. Historically speaking, it is inherently centrist. But he's not saying, or the rhetoric is not saying democratic socialism or anything like that. And also, it wouldn't make sense for it to. It's kind of I think Rhetoric thinks I'm turning into a tanky all of a sudden. Everyone can see that, says Rhetoric. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder, or do we get right down to it? Wait, first, what's this communism is even about? And I can opt in. We can roll up our sleeves and start building communism with not a K. Although it would, is it a K in Russian? Is it the C, the letter that stands for a C, which is a K? Is it a K, or does it have a different name? Because, the R doesn't, well, actually not the R, the P that stands for an R it's not a P. So you know what I mean. So we can opt out or opt in, and I think this is sort of in the same line as the thing that we had before about opting into a specific sort of main class type of character, which I love, by the way. This is a really interesting way of working with role-playing. Wait, what's this communism even about? Failure. It's about failure. Failure? Yeah, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped, and pissed on until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive, 800 trillion reals in the hand of an impossibly well-organized ruling class, towering city blocks of bank men who have the ears of prime ministers, million-headed armies of nations, and the love of your own mother. Against that, if you lost the sentence halfway through, you against the atom, the charm, and the spin, where the whole world failed, matter failed to bend to human will, human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade. No, it's too tiring. I don't have time for it. I work from 9 to 8 or whatever. I don't know. I don't have it in me. I'm beat down and broken. Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the working man it's over, unless anyone has objections. Anyone? Anyone else? There's no one. There's no one. Huh. Volition kicked in, saying there's one. And it's a check. This is an actual check of our volition against our rhetoric, as far as I can tell. And again, I keep saying, No Truce with the Furies is not only an amazing title, but also, I think, more fitting. Disco Elysium, I suppose it's interesting as well. But the title for the game. What should I do? I'm going to ask my volition. You should build communism, precisely because it's impossible. No, shut up. I want to lie down and let the water carry me downstream. Yeah, I get the impression that this would necessarily be an authoritarian communism. The game hasn't really talked about anarchism, though. Which is... Well, I suppose to say that anarchism is a type of communism is not necessarily wrong. It's just, yeah, we don't have any... Where's the thoughts? Yeah. It's not inherently wrong, but it's also sort of oversimplifying the matter. But of course it would be on the libertarian? No, that's not the word. What's the opposite of authoritarian? That word that you're thinking of, maybe. Yeah, it would be on the opposite side of the spectrum on that particular front. But certainly a police officer to turn there, I don't know, is kind of very tricky, specifically considering the history of our world and the history of the game's world that we don't have access to. So I think we're just gonna look around a little bit more and maybe opt into things. Maybe the game lets us not opt into anything. You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
Shopkeeper, what's behind the curtains? Nothing. Why aren't you browsing the books? She fiddles with her pendant. Do you feel compelled to look at the books? Don't you? You ought to. She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books. She does urge me to buy more books. Or books in general, because I didn't buy any. And hiccups. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. That's true. I'm gonna open the... Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Let's examine... I could do that. Examine the strange cage-like trinket. Wait, is that her pendant? You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straws. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. Oh, right. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. I'm not doing anything with it because it's on her neck. The curtains remain shut before you, so we're calling it a charm. Kind of charm, yeah. Let's pull the curtains open. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner, which is something, no, maybe terrified? Anyway, cries out once more. Sir, don't touch that, because it's petrified. Get it? I told you it's off limits to the customers. Her hand has closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with a talisman. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous. And she looks away, mumbling, why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people? But I sense this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold. You do? She grabs her pendant again, visibly shaking. My God! Even more reason to not mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir. Madam, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there. Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be impolite. Just please don't get there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash their powers. Is she harboring someone back there, maybe? I get the impression this is not the first time people do this, so I don't care. You can't stop me. I'll open them. No! She raises her hand to try to stop you. Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful, says our inland empire. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you. Ignore the curtains for now. She said we can talk. And we can talk. I'm a reasonable person. Now. Sometimes.
Hello again, esteemed officer. And welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Why are you so uptight about those curtains? I just want to know what's on the other side. I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. You didn't tell me. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books. Well, if it's just a storage room, then why do you have that strange trinket on the curtains? Oh, the trinket wasn't one her. I thought it was. It's just for decoration, she says. She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped smile. Then something breaks. Okay, fine. It's because this place is cursed. Just like Annette said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything? She closes her eyes and starts mumbling something to her pendant. Take it easy, says our suggestion. You've broken her resistance. Pushing her further will gain nothing. Well, I don't know what pushing her further means, suggestion. Thank you for telling me things. Please don't be, Metaphorical? It's a metaphor. Yeah, metaphorical. Please don't be metaphorical. Be literal. I like literality. Sometimes. So how does this curse manifest itself? A shiver runs through the woman as she looks around in the dimly lit store. The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. Her voice drops to a whisper. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy. She peers at the curtains again. Didn't the curtain just move? Says our inland empire. On a medium check? She's fooling me right now. The curtain... That's I can trust my inland empire there, can't I? Maybe. Why would it be my inland empire, though, that checked that? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just because that's my main skill. Annette mentioned that the previous tenants had experienced some financial troubles. It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's caco demons feeding... That's from Doom, by the way, I'm pretty sure. Feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here. It sounds familiar. Strange, I feel unwanted too. What does it mean? Truly so? Her eyes narrow as she tries to get a read on your energy. Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store for too long. It may be dangerous. Why didn't you just tell me right away it's the curse? It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, she shivers. It's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths anger them. Whoa, void wraiths. You have new words. I do, don't I? Thank you for teaching me all this. Have you sought help from anyone? Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Seminese mediators. Aren't they just called mediums in English? I'm pretty sure. In other languages as well. I think that's what she means. They're mediums, which is a weird... It's a weird word to use, but it is what they're called. They provided me with the wards. And she nods at the strange cage-like trinket in the curtains. The wards help to keep the doom at bay, and this is from Doom, and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear it's not enough. Is your pendant part of the wards as well? Oh, this? She holds the pendant in her palm. Its ochre heart glistens under the light. No, it's a special Hymean amulet. Blessed by desert pygmy shamans with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. Oh, that's why she was fidgeting with it. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. And she nods. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%. Sure. Would you like me to take the case? I could investigate, see if the curse is real. Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be so they can return to their slumber. Psychic arts. Sounds right down our alley, says our inland empire. I'm gonna convince her to let me investigate the doomed commercial area. Ugh. Dang it. Was that a white check, though? I suspect it's not. Time to fire up the old lying machine. Ma'am, I'm a renowned private investigator, a paragon of law, and a specialist in all things criminal. The lieutenant shoots you a sideways glance. And I am his private partner, John Shao. Together we run the preeminent spousal surveillance firm in Revachol. Yeah, we are truly private in our partnership, I'm gonna say. Once we've caught our client's spouse in flagrante delicto, that's the Latin word, very close to the Portuguese word, and I don't know why I had trouble saying it. Anyway, red-handed. We blackmail them and pocket. This is Kim talking. And pocket the money ourselves because that's what private investigators do. Now I see that you are a married woman. Did we do something good? Some penetrating sarcasm from your colleague there. Yes. What nonsense are you two going on about? This is not relevant at all, and besides, her lip curls in disgust, my husband would never do such a thing. We are proper people. All right, enough nonsense. The point is, we sometimes take on unusual cases. How can I believe you after all that foolishness? She looks around somewhat irritated. Our sincere apologies, ma'am, says Kim. No more nonsense. We're offering to assist you with your troubles, pro bono. Despite his apologies, there's a twinge of amusement in the lieutenant's eyes. By the way, I've since learned the accent of Kim's voice actor, and Belgium. He's Belgium. Also, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. Anyway, but that's the accent right there. At least I think so. He's at least from Belgium. Belgium? Is that the name of the country? I'm sorry. There's many names in my head for countries because they're, anyway, different languages. So, enough funny business. Will you just give us the key already? Is that what you've been after this whole time? You want the key to the back door? Yes, the key. Can we have it? Absolutely not. Well, I had a few more questions about the curse. I don't think I do anyway. That's a shame. So I'm gonna need a little bit of extra drama to come back and do that again. I'm still gonna need to. Maybe I can indeed go in there. She doesn't give me the key. I can pretend and fall. Maybe I can. Rip them apart, this time for real. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets, your shadow looming over it like an omen. I warned you! You are unleashing forces beyond your understanding! I guess we are. But for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.